What do you have to say about this, given the fact that, the legal practitioners in the state, they filed a lawsuit against the government saying that the secretive absorption or receiving or receipt of those third country nationals into Eswatini is more like an unconstitutional deal?
It means that giving money, this African leader can sell Africa. They can sell Africa as a continent and pocket the money. In fact, they are looking for a way to reinvent slave trade so that they can sell off Africans. You can see how intelligent and how wise our leaders are. $5 million. For you to admit crooks, rogues, criminals into your country. You can see.
Now, Barry said, now that we have this revelation being made by the finance minister of Eswatini, Neil himself, he says something about not giving the detail of the information, saying that the deal was between the prime minister and the U.S. president. Are we saying that the likes of South Sudan and even Ghana, who we learned also, even Rwanda too, took in some of these third country nationals, are we saying that they also must have collected money from the U.S. administration to take in those people?
Even I told you here, either you or David, that money exchanged hands. It's just I don't know at the actual amount. What
does this portend for the sovereignty of Africa as a nation?
I said you can see your leader. I told you we don't have leaders in Africa. We only have opportunists and local champions who are at the helm of affairs in Africa. None of them is worthy of the name they are bearing, except a few of them who can stand up to Donald Trump. You can see. Can any Western nation accept this? No. It's only in Africa because they have seen you all. They have seen you finish, as they say. They know you are the only country they can play this gamble with. Why didn't they go to Asia? My people pay for lack of knowledge.
But so what does this speak to, us being how we carry ourselves?
My dear, we are nowhere. In fact,
no, when you say we are nowhere, we also could recall that we learned here that some people, especially the ex-convicts, were the ones that some people were having discussion on how they are going to be sent to Nigeria, which Nigerian government vehemently refused taking them, saying that they cannot take those people. Now, what do you think happened that made the likes of Ghana, Angola, South Sudan, Eswatini to accept it? Even Cyril Ramaphosa also kicked against such happening on the soil of South Africa.
Yes, that is the quarrel between Ramaphosa and Donald Trump. You see, whenever you try to resist these people, you become what? A bad boy. Granted that yes, the Western world, there are good things they are doing. But when it had to do with your human right, with your integrity as a country, my dear, don't compromise it because it will not turn out well. The immediate gain of $5 million, will it equate what will happen after? The type of human being that they are going to turn out with in that country. Because look, these are ex-convicts. The criminal blood in them, are they going to wash it off and make them a new person? There are far more reaching implications. They are going to stay in that country, live in that country, procreate in that country, and have a life of their own. A country that is not even their own, they are not from there. How do you reconcile that?
Won't that further create problem in the future?
You don't need to be told, it's going to happen. Unfortunately, the people that created it may not be there when this will happen.
But we learned that Eswatini were able to send back or repatriate to Jamaica, and also I think another national to the origin, the country of origin where that person belonged. Now, Barrister, what do you think that made the natural origin of those people to refuse taking them in from Abinishu? Because we can recall that.
Let me tell you what is happening here. Most of them entered US with what? Forged documents. And so their nationality is in doubt. Most of them. They travel with other countries' name and all that. And so when the chiefs are down, they don't know where to go because their country will say, no, this is not our national. That's the issue here. Their country will reject them because what they are using is not their country's passport and all that. That's the issue. So that they rejected them, yes, there was a reason. After all, I don't see any country rejecting their national. You can come in as a citizen, you don't need to negotiate for you to come back to your country. But because of these travel documents that is not in order, that is the issue they are having. Most of them, they are having these issues up to tomorrow. And so when they cannot pinpoint where they will not, the last address in your passport, they will follow their, dump you at their airport and go home. That's what they do. Because in your passport, they will not write the name of your village. They will not write the name of your family. They will not write you are from Nigeria. And so any major airport in Nigeria, they will drop you there. Find your way. That's how it's done. Unfortunately, African leaders, they are not interested in what will happen later. It's the money. Every other country that accepted those people in Africa, they collected money. Quote me, they collected money. It was not. Why are you going to do it pro bono for the God's sake? Why would you admit ex-convicts, American ex-convicts into your country for nothing? Why would you do that? Is it possible? Donald Trump gave money and they accepted it. In fact, I see them demanding that money back from Eswatini because they have breached a contract. Yes, they have breached it.
Which is talking about the money an issue.
They accepted the money to keep it. So why would you not take them to another country? It's a breach of contract, yes.
All right, away from that, let's look at another story where the president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, told Tanzanians that the country is facing some challenges due to tarnished global reputation. Though she didn't further tell them what really happened or what image of the country is being tarnished at this point, but she's urging the members of the cabinet now to find a way to raise money for them to be able to keep the running of the state or the nation. Because from what she said, that opposition parties and even United Nations and other people have come up to say that some persons were killed after the election that happened that was marred with clashes and all that. And that was the reason they were not able to get external help, funds from other people. How do you think Tanzania will survive with such image being painted by the president of how they needed help? I think,
in fact, I think they should tighten the noose around the neck of Tanzanian government. Seriously. They should tighten the noose, squeeze them hard. Because what happened in that is unthinkable for a woman. They should tighten the noose. Let them cripple that government until the needful is done. They should even suggest that the election should be what? Redone. Yes, they should redo that election the proper way.
Who is going to sponsor the election if you're calling for them to go back again to have another election? Now that Salihu have come up to say we don't have enough fund, and she is urging, she's urging the ministers to look for a way to raise funds domestically.
They will go and sell their blood to the World Bank, the World Health Organization. They should drink their blood, go and sell it to them.
Barrister, wouldn't this bring more hardship on the people who are already suffering?
The government will suffer more. Let them place sanction on them. All their properties about, they should sell them off. Yes. I'm telling you.
But Tanzania is not the only country that have ever faced that post-election clashes.
Let them start with somebody.
It happened in Cameroon. People died after Paul Biya was declared the president. And, we've not really seen that some people decide not to help and all that.
Paul Biya have become an ancestor in Cameroon.
So are we fighting a case where we exonerate some people and call for stiffer penalties and punishments for others?
This one now is a budding monster. A budding dictator. So let us stop her first. Then we go for the ancestors in power.
With the picture you've painted about this lady, making it look more like she's a behemoth. How do you think it's going to be possible for she to be stopped at this point?
But already she's crying out.
But she's urging people to find a way to raise money.
How will they find a way? No, there won't be any way. Tanzania is not a power bloc in East Africa. So by the time they squeeze that economy and the government, they will not know how far. Look, if you know what is good for her, let her call for another election. The EU and other Western powers, they will contribute money and help her. After all, how many are they? How much do they need for another election? The EU and the Western power country, even if it's $10 million, yes, it can do the job. They can contribute and convert the money and then use it judiciously. It will conduct a free and fair election in Tanzania. That's what I think here. Somebody should be made a scapegoat. Somebody should be used as an example for African leaders to sit up. Oh, you are looking for money, Abi? So when you collect their money, you now use it to entrench yourself in power. Who told you that the Western world wants such a thing now? These are the things we are talking about. Your sovereignty did not stop you from going to borrow money from outside, Abi. Are you serious? Oh, you will not tell them now, as a sovereign nation, I'm not supposed to go outside Tanzania to borrow money.
Barrister, yes. Tanzania is not the only country owing. US too is owing. In fact, it's recorded. They have the highest
don't go there.
But that is the truth.
Hold on. Are they using it for good or for bad purpose? Tell me. No, did the US go and borrow money to suppress election in America? When you want to compare this in, please, I don't want to hear it. That America borrowed money, should you go and borrow too?
Is there anything wrong in borrowing?
A lot is wrong if you cannot manage the money you are going to borrow. Yes, Africa have borrowed and over-borrowed. They have borrowed their children's future. So they should stop borrowing. That's what I'm saying. If you cannot manage the money you are borrowing, why are you not borrowing? Like in Nigeria now. All the money we borrow, where is the evidence? All the money we have been borrowed. Look at how much we have borrowed for 10 years now between Buhari and Tinubu. What is the evidence, please, for tell me? And we are looking for 210 trillion naira. Esther, Abi, Fina. No, tell me, how do you justify this type of thing? Juxtapose the fact that you mismanaged your 210 trillion naira and you went outside to go and borrow $2 billion. How do you describe foolishness? How? No, tell me. 210 trillion naira, you cannot account for it. Somebody have taken it in your country. They've shared it. And you are going outside to go and borrow money. And you are here telling me that there's nothing wrong with borrowing money. Are you serious? Money we borrow and share, Abi? If that's the case, don't borrow again.
All right, Barrister, let's go to Togo, where we learned that Russian President Vladimir Putin will meet with the president of Togo. They're seeing that. And this meeting is scheduled to be today, somewhere in Kremlin, where they will talk on how to develop, will I say, bilateral relationship now between Togo and Moscow. And the reason for this, some people have come up to say that it is centered on the phosphate, the mineral resources that Togo is producing. And recall that Gnasimbe actually have been there, him and his family have been on within the affairs, the leadership of Togo since 1967. Are we going to see another scrambling of Africa? Here we're having Russia showing interest in coming inside. They will have a way to strengthen the relationship and cooperation in agriculture, in diplomacy, economy, trade, and all that. In another breath again, we have another information that China have already established their foothold in Zambia.
It's very painful. Very, very painful. I said African leaders, especially Nigerian leaders, they need to gather them somewhere. I'm not joking. Fina, look at Ajokuta Steel Complex, lying moribund for how many years now? The biggest steel industry in the whole world. Look at the NNPC. Look at the aluminium smelter company. Look at the Etape. Just name them all over the place. Lying moribund. And you have leaders who are not thinking of moving forward. Do you know how much we are going to generate from putting these companies into use? Do you know know what it means to have the biggest steel industry in the whole world? What will come out from there? And yet the place is lying moribund. All our mineral resources, except the white man come, will not touch it. Is that not a cause? No, tell me.
Some say that we don't have the equipment for us to mine those mineral resources and utilize them the way it should be.
Please, don't say that again. The world has moved on. The world is now a global village. With a punch on your laptop, you can get all the information you need on this earth. You can get the technology.
So what is it then that is stopping Africans?
Because of your leadership, we don't have one.
You know, Barrister, this is more like a big concern.
I'm telling you,
if you check it out, you find out that Russia have finally found a way to, get into the countries like Equatorial Guinea, Angola, African Republic, and even Madagascar too, Mali, Mozambique. They are spreading their tentacles within all, most of the African countries. So what is really happening?
They have seen us finish. They know that we don't have anybody here. Nothing is in Africa. This is neo-colonialism. Neo-colonialism. Have they not given you independence? Oh yeah, now what are you doing with it? Nothing. You can't even take care of yourself. You are busy killing yourself. The same people will come and say, oh yeah, stop fighting. Oh yeah, come, I want to make peace among you. And you say they come to take your resources. Are you serious? How many times have you had any Western country fighting this type of useless war we are fighting here? Killing yourself over nothing. Fina, people will wake up and start killing their neighbors. Do you hear this type of thing in the Western world? The peace in their country is even making them so, they are tired of peace. The Western world, they are tired of peace. And that's why they are making progress. Every time you run to them, you run to them. Don't you know that it is the peace in those countries that is making them to make progress? For example, this government of Nigeria has spent over 22 trillion naira fighting what? Insurgents, terrorists. 22 trillion naira you would have used to better the life of your people. You spent it on what? Buying military hardware to fight who? Ordinary bandits. Wasting money. Wasting money. Look, I pray God will transform me to what I want to be. I will seriously, I'll take care of it because.
Can you give us? Can you just tell us? Let's get a glimpse of what you want to be. This one is saying God can.
Look, if I have the power these people have that they don't know. 24 hours, they will know that yes, somebody is in town. I'm not joking. Now, do you think I can do it here?
Barrister, do you think an individual can?
Yes, you can make the difference. Look, hold on. You can make. Donald Trump came and said America first, and he put it into practice, and the whole world was catching cold all over the place. What are you telling me? If you have the power that the Constitution has given you, use it now.
Some have said that the reason Donald Trump could do that is because of the power of the U.S.
Yes, now
so how we going to get
you have the same power here. Are you using it? Not that you are using it for your own selfish interest.
Barrister, check Africa. Even our African Union, we don't have a single currency. We're more like further disintegrated.
Please start.
So how are we going? Now let's prefer solutions.
Charity begins at
what solutions are you bringing?
Yes, charity begins. If I take care of my country, every other country around me will sit up.
Barrister, let's make you assuming you all made the president of Nigeria for one day or 1 week. What will be the first on your chart? The top priority.
You see this nonsense called terrorism. Oh my! If they don't end, I will resign myself because I know what to do, and they will run back to where they came from. I'm not joking. As long as I'm in the commander-in-chief, Fina, I will. In fact, I will take the bull by the horn. I have seen some leaders outside there do it, and it worked. Fina, it worked. Everybody concerned. In fact, you see that lady in the law profession who covered her eyes. I won't know who is who. As long as you are part of the problem, you are going. Fina, you are going. I'm not joking. A former president of Philippines, I've told you the story. He knew that drug pushers want to use Philippines as their hub. They want to create a route, a cartel. And the man campaigned with it. That this thing, that it will not work under him. They thought he was joking. And the man was elected. The following day, he put on his military fatigue. Selected a well-disciplined military men. And they went to the den of these drug pushers. The man was shooting from all cylinders. The UN was crying out human rights. The man didn't listen. These guys ran out of Ife without their shoes on. I mean, ran out. And you are telling me you can. What are you talking about? You that is pampering them, and they have become so bold. Me, go and sit down with terrorists to discuss over what? In my country. When did we share sharing power? No. Did you elect a terrorist on me? That they, oh my God. You don't know, understand me and what I represent to. My spirit is burning each time I see this type of thing. You went to bring terrorists into Nigeria.
Where the Human Rights Watch have come up to say that 31 people were killed in more like an attack between the Malian military and also an allied military, which some people have pointed to have a link with Al-Qaeda. At what point do you think these killings in Africa will end? How are we going to put an end to it? The other time it was in South Sudan, people were being killed. In DR Congo, something is happening there. In Nigeria, insecurity is still high. And now we're looking at Mali too. You know, Al-Qaeda taking over and...
You don't have a leader in Africa. If you have a strong leader in Africa, like you have Vladimir Putin in Russia, he will just tell you. Putin will tell you and tell you what to do. He will tell you to get out from that place as a terrorist. If you refuse, wait for him. That is a simple order. It's like a Donald Trump now telling any bad boy around them. If you secure your country, it will be difficult for them to even operate. Tell them you don't want to see them around you as a neighbor, whatever. That is what Nigeria represented before. When they have power and authority. Who is that terrorist? Who is that madman that will come and be disturbing Africa? Nigeria will tell you to stop it, or you will see their red eye. Can any leader in Nigeria say such a thing today? You can't even manage your own. Is there going another? All this nonsense about the terrorists trying to make a base in my territory. It is either you or me. I'm not joking. It is either you or me with the resources available. But here, they are using this money for their own selfish interest. Instead of using it to do something great that the world would uphold. Who are the terrorists that will withstand my army? The army that I spend money to train. I will tell you, if you are not ready to fight this thing, resign. No compromise, no sentiment, no tribals, nothing. Be serious about this issue. And I'm giving you what? 1 month, 2 months. Then they will know that yes, somebody is in town. What are you telling me? So we are going to leave this thing forever, Abi? Fina, you leave this thing for your children. Is that what you are telling me? Hold on, no. You mean this thing will continue for how many years? You are not serious. I'm not joking. So how can you make progress? With this insecurity, how can you make progress?
Barrister, here in the bulletin, we have another story where a rights group have accused, I'm talking about the European Human Rights non-profit group, accused Total Energies of complicity in war crimes and torture and even enforcement of disappearance of people in Mozambique, saying that they paid some soldiers salary for them to help out, in taking out people who is obstructing the activities in this French oil major country.
They gave you money to kill your own people and you collected it, Abi. Fina, have you seen it? Fina, have you seen what I'm telling you, that you are your own problem as an African? Have you seen it? Is it not happening here? The Ogoni people, is it not happening here? You can see, I told you here that God was so I don't know what Africans did to God.
So are we now still call it neocolonialism, or are we saying it to be what Africans are doing to Africa? Because, every time, I can remember then in university, within my first year university, there was a book then, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney. I read that book before getting into university. And during my stay in university, there was another book again by certain Stanley, How Africa Underdeveloped Africa. Exactly. So who are we blaming at this point? Is it
we blame ourselves because you are not the only one that was colonized. Britain, United Kingdom colonized America. It's on record. America fought for their independence. And today, What is the record? Is the Britain not taking orders from America? They even removed themselves from Commonwealth to tell you how they cherish their independence. You, what are you doing? With all that God has given you for God's sake. Because if there was nothing here, they will say, because we are alone, we don't have mineral resources, we don't have something to hold on to. In fact, we don't have any mineral resources. Look at Japan. Do they have oil? Ordinary sand, ordinary sand. They've turned it into gold. Japan. So look, we are not thinking. We are not a thinking nation. The only thing we are good at, Efina, is what? How to share stolen money. The money you go and borrow, how to share it. That is what our leaders are. None of them is very visionary. None of them. When Russia went to the moon in 1959, what's her name? Kennedy, John F. Kennedy said what? That America will go to the moon in 4 years' time. Americans say, we don't have anything, nothing to, we can't even, he said, we are going to the moon in 4 years' time. 1963, they went to the moon. That is why Americans will never forget John F. Kennedy. As young as he was, very visionary. I have a booklet of his quotable quotes. A leader. He took America to the next level. But here, we have criminals who don't want Nigeria to move forward. Look at how much you are looking for, 210 trillion naira. Meanwhile, you are owing 100 and something trillion. That money will pay our debt and we still have cash. Is it not painful? And they are asking you to pay tax. Meanwhile, other petroleum countries, they don't pay tax. They are using the money for their people. Saudi Arabia is inclusive. They say that this man is here running his mouth. He went to Saudi Arabia. They declared him persona non grata and sent him away. He didn't talk or he didn't reply them. But here, he is cursing everybody that said he should be arrested. Look, we are not a country, seriously. Thank God for what Donald Trump said. We are a very disgraceful country. There is nothing to write home about among our leaders. Everything is all about politics. Is the only thing in Nigeria. Nothing else. Nothing. Politics. From January to December, politics. China has developed a drug that can make man live for 150 years. Which one have you manufactured? What have you done? Except to share money. Have all the money in your pocket. Control everything. Own the whole place. Yet, at the end of the day, it will come to nothing. Just like what is that man said in the Bible? Vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. Solomon. Can you be richer than Solomon? The answer is no. You cannot. Even Elon Musk, where he's going, he cannot be as rich as Solomon. Yet the man said, vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. We don't have leaders here, seriously. We should sit down one day and pray for these evil men who have kept Nigeria where it is. 210 trillion naira, and nobody is making any effort to find out where is that money and who took it. And they are taxing me again to come and pay more tax for you to go and steal. A wicked people, wicked. When they enter into this their occult group, where they decide the fate of Nigerians, in their occult group, they don't do anything. It's all about themselves, selfish interest. What will benefit them and their man. So you think all these people are making noise? It is for nothing. No, they are members of one occult group. That is what is giving them the power. Yes, they are in charge.